More than the glass. I grew up in a world of mirrors, panning from ceiling to floor, every inch of my body, my technique, my form, under constant observation by my harshest critic from the moment I learned to walk. As I stare back at myself each day, I've come to realize I never learned to dance. I learned to judge. Dancing is the most natural form of expression. Who was it that decided the passion and love be taken from this art? Because it wasn't the little girl who entered her first ballet class in her little pink outfit, covered in tiny bows with nothing but passion, love, and hope for the future. Maybe if someone had told me then, told her then, that this passion of mine was never destined to happy ending, maybe I would have found another hobby, another love before it was too late, before the irreversible effects of self-judgment made itself at home in my brain. Maybe. After all these years of studying this body I was given, the one staring back at me, picking apart each angle I was so constantly provided, of each curve and intentional lack thereof, I was taught to judge. Much sooner than any child should ever learn to. Taught to compare the other figures in the mirror to my own, to compare to my ideals. By the time our peers even begin to learn to hyperfixate on appearance, dancers are already fluent in this language. Months at a time in front of the mirror now, all leading to a few shows without it, we are then left vulnerable. How are we supposed to make sure we look perfect now? Dancers are taught to alter their natural body position to make a straight line, to imagine a string from head to toes. What happens when this line is no longer perfectly straight? When we're criticized for showing our lunch, when no amount of tightening or sucking in instructed by our teachers makes a difference? Sometimes, late at night, I dream of having a passion in a world with no mirrors at all. Jealous of those who have found a passion in a world without them. The constant consideration of stepping away from this toxic relationship which I once called soulmate. But it is, after all, too late. There's no way to unlearn habits so deeply embedded in one from such a young age. So I dream of a life without mirrors. I dream of dance without mirrors, and I dream of feeling dance the way everyone else sees it and thinks it to be, the way that I once saw it, before the pollution of hatred and comparison set into my mind before I even learned to read. Before I ever tasted the poison everyone else is so lucky to just call mirror. Each whisper I hear, each negative, painful comment and derogatory stab I suddenly realize came from inside, a war between who I was taught to be and who I know I am deep down. But let us not speak of it. Let us not speak of how the mirror stole pieces of us that it was never entitled to take. Until one day, we no longer recognize who it is we're staring back at. And then I can't help but wonder, after all these years of staring at myself, did I ever really recognize myself, that is? And although I can't even remember when I stopped, I'm done dancing for the glass. I am more than all that I can see staring back at me. And I hope, one day, I will teach myself how to stop being constantly aware of the space that I take up and the shape in which I do so. I will unlearn the addiction of sweatpants and baggy clothes to hide me. I will turn my brain off. I will learn how to just be. And what if, all along, I am everything that can't be captured in the glass? Thank you.